Going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good evening, my darlings.
Good. Welcome to another exciting installment of your favorite podcast, Cultivation Conversation. And we have a special guest tonight. It is Outcast Genetics. How are you, sir?
Doing well, doing well.
Thanks for coming
Awesome.
on, man.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
Outcast with a K,
Mhm.
right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Any relation to the hip hop duo famous for the song "Hey Ya" and
Please, they have way better tracks than that.
Miss
Yeah,
Jackson?
I would
Again.
say that would probably be a negative.
I'm just playing, dude. I'm just playing. Are you I have to ask. I'm seeing it in the chat already. Are you from Dallas?
No, not from Dallas.
No, not from
Damn,
Dallas.
from
But
Texas.
you are from the Lone Star State, correct?
That'd be correct. Prohibition land as we know it.
Hey, Kent Pirate, 100%
You bet.
through and through. I
Lift the
love it.
flag high.
That's
Mhm.
right. That's right. So good. Not a Cowboys fan, and we can proceed with the interview then. That's all well and good. I'm just
Very, very
playing,
true.
just playing, just playing. Go. Hey, I respect anyone that supports their team. You know what I mean? Like, just it's if you're a diehard and you like your local squad, so be it.
Yeah.
But man, it's those damn Cowboys fans that live around here that just really gets under my skin, man. But anyway, what are you smoking on tonight?
Actually, just for the podcast, I am partaking in a little beverage just so I can keep my head clear during this little interview. Got me some
Yeah.
Tito's and a little bit of Rebecca Creek, Texas finest whiskey.
That sounds good.
Did you say Tino's and whiskey? So you mix the two?
Yes, a little bit. I
That's
mean,
interesting.
snippet sauce.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah, never heard of that, but I mean, sounds like it would work, man. Just double the fun too, you know?
Definitely.
That's what's up, man. So you got all right. Now you're making me I wish I had a little beverage here.
beverage.
I'm going to text my wife right now on air. Actually, you know what? I'll just call for her. Hey, Allie, could you bring me up a beer, please? Thank you. I know. I had it on my mind. I forgot to do it tonight. So yeah, are you smoking on anything? You pairing those whiskey and vodka terps with anything in particular?
Yeah, what's in the grinder right now? We've been running a lot of purple lemonade. We run that through the tent. Some GMO. That's about what two we've got going right now.
GMO. Now, to your understanding, what does GMO stand for?
Whatever you fucking want it to stand for. Seriously, I'm so sick of this debate, but I'm interested to hear what you say.
To me, it ought to be genetically modified bullshit, right? So it's got a background with cookies and everything else. It's just it is garlicky. I can get the G part of it, but I don't get anything else in it. I mean, I don't. You tell me what it stands for. What do you think it stands for?
Go muck off or go I don't know. No, it's actually apparently the story is it stands for genetically modified organism. Like the
Yeah, but if you talk to
acronym-
99% of stoners, they say garlic, mushroom, onion.
well, I mean, because it is garlicky. So, like you said, it does make a little sense, but it's not mushroomy or oniony. And
Negative.
Some other people say garlic meat onion. I've heard that.
Ooh, more meat terps.
But like it's so the story is, and I'm drawing a blank on who is the breeder originally of GMO, but like they it was meant to be like kind of a rip on Girl Scout cookies. It's coming back to me a little bit. GMO is a cross of Girl Scout cookies with Chem D or Chem 91, I think. So it
I think it was
took
Chem
on like
91.
yeah, it took on a little like, funk from there and the cookies. So like in making fun of Girl Scout cookies of America, who at the time had like a little bit of negative publicity for allegedly using genetically modified products in their cookies. So he kind of made fun of it, cookies and chem. So GMO. But yeah, I don't know. Call it whatever you want. It stands for get me off. It stands for I don't know. How about you, Monster? What you got? Smoking anything good? Thank you.
I just packed up some of this stuff that Mac left behind, that Barney's Farm grapefruit something or other.
Aw, sharing is caring.
What's that?
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. I don't know if he left it behind on purpose or not, but either way, fucking good shit. Nice fat buds. We each got a big fucking fat bud. I've been breaking off the top of this one. But
Wow.
he did a good job with it.
That
Nice
was
job, Mac.
I think he said that was
Nice.
Barney's Farm, and he did mean to leave it behind because
He's a
bro like
classy
that,
motherfucker.
and yeah, just a little parting gift. So I was enjoying it a little earlier myself too, but that's cool. That's cool. How about you, G3?
Mango smile.
Mango smile. Okay. I
Yep.
should have
Wish you
known.
were
Should
me.
have known.
At least you're consistent. I mean,
I am.
people are
And
making fun of me for the pure Michigan all the time. So ahead.
honestly, I keep some of this stuff specifically for this show. Like, I have other stuff that I do smoke. It's just, this is such a great strain for this. It keeps me up. It keeps me awake. It keeps me happy. Why mess with it? Ain't broken.
I like that attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say that Mango Smile is gone in my stash. Like that's the first one that I ran through because
Of me,
just
I was
such a
rolling fat joints of that shit when you brought it back.
that had a little to do with it, but I got like 165 grams off of her, so
Yeah.
that
No
was
slouch.
it was a good yield and gone. So I mean, it was just daytime smoke, like pure, just all day, every day kind of thing. Mango
Sure.
Smile, but
Super
for right
sativa.
now,
Yeah, what do
su-
you have,
super
Cap? Tell us
sativa.
what's in your
Well,
grinder.
so I have some of our guests' very own. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Sacred Watch. Can you
Such
read
a
my
killer name.
chicken
good.
scratch on the lid of the jar? Yeah. So Sacred Watch. Now, yeah. What is the story behind the strain name, sir?
The strain name, I was wanting to think of something catchy, right? So you go back and you look at the parents of it. I mean, I can go back to when we brought in TKOG, which was an auto that I had inherited from a friend of mine several years back. He had provided it for my wife for medicine, and I'd asked him if I could breed it. And so we used it as a breeding stock. I mean, that's the parent of all of our strains. But to bring in the Sacred Watch, what you have, we teamed it up with a purple Rolex from Rockbud.
Ah, yeah.
So that's the parent, the lineage of it.
Very cool. Now, TKOG, well, hold on. Before we get into that, I just want to describe a little bit what I'm getting, smell, taste-wise from this. Freshly ground up, nice nugs too. That was one of the things with this plant. She was huge, dude. Like one of the biggest I ever grew. As big as Purple Pope, which, as everyone out there probably knows, is a big one. And that's just that not even a top bud, that's just that's a normal bud. They're all very dense, very nice, frosty. They have a funky like green apple kind of terp profile. Now that it's been curing for better part of 2 months, I'd say the funk is definitely coming out more. But it still has really nice like fruitiness to it as a backbone. It's a great smoke. It's really smooth. I don't get a lot of coughing or a lot of congestion when I smoke this one, and it's definitely one that I enjoy in the nighttime, if you know what I mean. It's one of those broadleaf varieties, I imagine.
Very, very true.
Oh, so sedating. So you're going to like fall asleep on us.
You fucking shitting me, dude? You need a fucking pound of ketamine to get him to fall asleep right now.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't fall asleep. I don't fall asleep. Um, I just, it's more of for me. It's more of just like a body high. If that, it's a clear-headed, but you feel it more in your body. It's kind of like, you know, being. It's almost just being less aware of your body. It's the only way I can describe a body high is just like you feel like you're floating a little bit, like, there's less pressure anywhere, like, you might feel pressure, and yeah, just overall pain relief, I would say, is a great quality of this strain, man. So definitely cool. Now, what is TKOG? Please tell me, because that's a
Okay.
new one.
PKOG is Triangle Kush OG. That was a pretty popular strain, I want to say around the early 2000s, late 90s down in Florida. And my buddy, he long childhood friend. I mean, we go back a long ways. Um, my wife developed a health issue back in, I want to say it was 2014, 2016, and she had lost a lot of weight. Like I'm talking a ton, from 150 down to below 110, like really, really fast. And we taken her, get her tested, couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And so the doctors ran all these tests on her, and she picked up, you know, the only thing that helps, the cannabis. So started smoking again. And at that time, I was getting it from, be blunt with you, black market. The good old Silk Road days.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And,
remember
s-
those days.
and so I was picking it up from there, and then I didn't know anything about autos. Really, just knew about photos, and I was getting strains in the mail. And my buddy reached out to me. We hit it back up, and he told me about the autos. He said he had a TKOG that he had crossed over into an auto, and it was probably about, I think at the time it was like 7 generations deep. And he says, "How about I just send you out seeds?" I said, "Well, I haven't ever grown any autos, but I'm willing to try." So started down that road, and once it was successful, I seen what I had and the relief it provided my wife. I was like, "Hey, man, do you mind if we use this to create more seeds with?" And so, hence the road, and that was probably about 3 years ago that we started down the breeding path with it. And so since then, we really look for just every strain that I try to incorporate, we grow out several times over. I mean, I'm always growing something, whether it's, and I'm big on rock bud. I mean, I love rock buds
Yeah.
for his strains. I'm big on night owl, but we grow out tons of it just to try to hunt that perfect pheno. Once I know I've got the pheno, we lock it back in. We'll either self it, and then we have plenty of seeds for seed stock for breeding for autos. It's a little different, right? And so go in the pheno hunt, and we breed small batches. I mean, I usually create no more than, I would say, 500 to 1,000 seeds on a breeding. But we get a TKOG male, and we get it with the whatever we're going to hit it with. Right, this last time was 5 different strains. Um, go through it, then go through all the testing, which takes months and months, and then if it's releasable, we'll release it. But I've got a
Wow.
ton, like millions of seed stock that I can't even think about releasing right at the time.
Just because it's not tested, because not happy with
Partially,
the results, or why?
yes.
Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, so whenever you go through testing, you look for different things. You try to stress the plant out. You try to, light deprivation, feed deprivation. I grow one way, you grow a different way. I probably grow more along the lines of Monster. I grow Synganics, so I'm big on
Okay.
the organic soil and everything, and the minerals and the minor nutrients. And but I'll feed it salts. I mean, I don't want the plant to struggle to get food. And then what I've found is it creates monster autos. I mean, I've gotten some big ones from it. But
Yeah.
my way of growing isn't everybody's way of growing. So I send it out to my testers, and everybody's got a different type of grow style, and it takes us all. I mean, that's what it's all about. And so when I get feedback back that, hey, this plant herms, well, that's obviously that's no good. It's out. I've had a few of them to say that I've pulled. I just pulled this last strain. I had a purple pope I bred, but these seeds were the shells. They were entirely too hard. They wouldn't
Oh
come off the
yeah.
cotyledons. I mean, they were
Oh,
just hard.
no shit.
Yeah. And so I pulled that strain. We were not going to. I don't release anything that has an issue. I cannot. I mean, hell, I stake my name on it, right? And
Yeah.
we're in a prohibited
Right.
land.
Yeah.
Well, we
So I
definitely
mean,
appreciate that as growers. So thank you
co-
for being very
hey,
selective.
amen. That counts for a lot, and I think it just maybe I'm mistaken, but I think like just being a prohibition guy, it makes you value your tent space a little bit more than some like because I don't know, you're putting yourself out there for every plant you grow, every inch of your tent space. I mean, yeah, I'm probably wrong. It's everyone wants quality shit that's tested, man. But like, at least I know coming from your end, like you don't have time to fuck around with stuff that's not any good. So it's
No,
you
that's
know
right.
it's a little bit of street cred your way, sir. A little bit. Um, so that's honestly, man, what drew me to you through our talks, because I'm sure our listeners know, but you were one of the up and coming autoflower breeders I'd spoken with. I decided to grow your strain, Sacred Watch. She kicked ass in my tent, didn't have any issues. Obviously, this was one that you thoroughly tested and you were happy with. It it just it was one of the most carefree, easy grows that I've ever had. Not even in an auto pot. Okay, this was hand watered, and she just exploded. Right, yielded over 200 grams dried. So that's about what seven
Almost 8.
ounces almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 8.
Almost half,
Almost 8.
almost half from a soil organic grow, like in a 5-gallon pot. Like she was vigorous, healthy, and very, very little maintenance to take really good care of her, which I
Don't
appreciated a
don't
lot.
take this the wrong way, but that's even more impressive coming from you because you don't really train. You just grow them the way like they, you know what I mean? So to pull
Yeah,
a half pound off that fucking plant without doing any like major training, that's impressive. Especially in soil.
hundred
Like
percent.
super
Was she
impressive.
giant? Was she absolutely like
Yeah,
monstrously tall?
she was like 4.5 feet
Yeah,
from like the
Wow.
base of top of the soil to the top of the top cola.
Big girl.
And yeah, like the way she grew just naturally, without all natural, without any training whatsoever, was very much like even canopy. Like all the side branches were just as tall as the main, maybe a couple inches less,
Yeah.
but it was like, yeah, the top and then everything else at this nice level right under it. Just amazingly easy grow. And she's doing the trick, So if you selected for, pain relief qualities, that like nighttime kind of vibes, if I was hearing, the issue your wife was going through at the time, and maybe you selected for like appetite inducing kind of effects.
yes, definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we did the definitely something that gives you the munchies, right? So
yeah,
some old school
exactly.
munchies, and then really I look for the structure of the plant, right? So I kind of grow them out naturally, like Captain does. You got your apex, you got your cola, your apex, and then you got your secondaries. And I like to see them come up pretty close to even. You want that even canopy, and kind of looking like maybe a candelabra from Hanukkah or something. You want that nice even canopy coming up on the plant with it natural. We selected for the pain relief. We also selected for the nighttime qualities. She's not a big sativa smoker or thin leaf smoker, I would say. She likes the stuff that knocks her in the dirt and get some food in her, right? So since we since we've found out what's caused
I
the
love that.
issue,
That was
you know,
so Texas. I love it. I love the way you put that, man.
yeah, it's Texas in general.
That's
But
right. That's right. Just lay it out there, man. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had
no,
to.
you're good. You're good. But yeah, we look for different qualities, and I mean, really, at the end of the day, what I'm looking for is how easy is it to grow. Number one, bud structure. Number two, because I know I shared on my last post. I'm not a big fan of the buds that create a lot of foxtails and things of that nature. I like the nice tight golf ball nugs, something that's easy to trim, nothing that's real leafy. And it takes a while to get there. I mean, sometimes you've got to isolate those traits and you've got to go down those lines. But really, when we get there, it's magic, right? So you try to hold on to it. So on that first release that I did, we only released 3 strains. We did the TKOG, and then of course Monster was talking earlier about some Barney's Farm. We took Barney's Farm's Purple Punch and crossed it with that TK, and it turned out to be a
Nice.
pretty nice heavy hitting plant. Its name is Lucky Punch because we lucky we hit it like that. But anyway, it hits you
Like
in the
it.
face. And I've got several of my friends that are farmers over in Oklahoma in the real world where they've got true laws that you can do this stuff with. And we grow out commercially over there, and I go out and help them. And we do a lot of testing and things out in that nature or in that area as well. So we go out there, we run several different crops, and we see how things are going to perform. And so it's tested more or less in a semi-commercial facility. He's got a license. We test that stuff, but majority of the testing is done by my testers, obviously on the internet and friends of the fam.
Cool, man. That's cool. I was, I guess, drawn to the novelty of the TKOG and all your stuff. You know what I mean? Like that. I hadn't seen that before. I love kind of like the story about hey, your friend, you found a buddy. He had already taken it to what you said, like 7 generations deep.
Yeah. I won't say it was
So
F7 or F8
yeah, so
when
it
he
was
sent it to
already,
me.
like nice worked, stable strain. You fell in love with it, and you
Yes.
decided to start working with it yourself, man. That and I don't think I've seen a Triangle Kush OG auto. So actually, I think there's one. I think it's like the most recent like Night Owl calendar beans. Like if you got like the Daytona 5000 or the Orlando's Magic. I think he crossed some stuff with a Triangle Kush auto that's like from his private reserve stash. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's not something you find very easily, man. That's so yeah. I love just something new, and
Something new
there it
and unique.
was.
Yeah.
There it
Um,
was.
if I go back to Bob, whenever he crossed that over, I believe he crossed that with a Big Devil. I want to say it was a Big Devil XL was how he got the auto trade out of it, was what he was telling me. And so, like I said, I borrowed the stock from a friend. I do have some projects in the works, though. I'm trying to work on some photo auto projects, doing some crossing over myself. I want to bring it back
Word.
to the roots. Uh, I like a little Fruity Pebbles OG. I mean, I hear any love out there for that
Ah,
strain.
oh
Listen,
yeah.
that's a great smoke, and it's a super good yielder too. Um,
Yeah.
so I'd like to see what you can do with that.
Hey, feel like you were dropping a little bit of a hint there as to what the project might be, huh?
That's future. I mean, it could take. I mean,
That's what's
I
up.
don't release strains very often, so we're looking probably next year, maybe late next year, if I'm lucky, to get some of this stuff going. And I also got. I give a shout out to my buddies over at dseedy.com at the seed bank that hosts my beans. Those guys, Kyle and Zach, they're going to go ahead and they sent me over a pack of the Night Owl, the what was it, Coco Kim.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we're gonna plant a few packs of that and hunt that down too, and just look at it and see what we can create from it.
Nice, man.
Interesting. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I mean, you're doing great work, man. So, like again, that's what drew me to you. I like through our talks, it was very evident that you know what you're doing. You have the process dialed down. You have a vision. Um, you're an artiste, as we've spoken about many times. And man, I had great success with just one of your strains. So I know you have a bunch more. Um, and a lot of them were based on that TKOG, right?
Yeah, every one of my strains is based off the TKOG. They've got a
Nice.
TKOG lineage in it. So
Hell
the
yeah.
first three strains we released was Sacred Watch, Lucky Punch, and then we did a TKOG F2, which we called RF2. It's probably around the neighborhood of F9 or so, somewhere along that line, that filial generation. So that was the first three strains we released, and then we took TK and we crossed it with a Form Stomper, and we got the TK
Ooh.
Stomper. And with the TK Stomper, which it was I would say it's probably a medium height plant. We liked what it produced, so it was some heavy hitting buds. And so we took that, we went down the fruit line and started selecting from rock bud again. And there's a lot of rock bud out there that you'll see a lot of my crosses with because I love a lot of his work. We had the pineapple stomper, which it is Mephisto. No, that's rock bud. It's the
Oh,
pineapple
the
sunrise.
yeah, Pineapple Sunrise. I remember seeing that one. Hell
Yeah, we
yeah.
crossed up with that. And then we did a Mephisto strain, the orange stomper with the super orange haze. And
Ah, one
so
of my favorites.
yeah, we chose one of those, and then the other ones, the raspberry, the blueberry, those raspberry punch, blueberry slushy, and then the purple Kim. So we crossed up purple
Oh,
Kim with TK Stopper, and
geez,
so those were
man.
the five that made it. There were several
Yeah,
of them that didn't.
you picked some really good ones to hit with that TKOG. I mean, for real. And I've grown half a dozen, maybe 8 different rock buds, and man, every single one of them, like you said, they have that bud structure. That
Yes,
none of them are going to be foxtaily, none of them are going to be larfy. Like that's one thing. Man, like the name Rock Bud, right? You better
yeah,
you better have that quality dialed in if you're gonna call yourself that, right?
absolutely.
It's like I don't know, the band Genesis. You ever hear of them?
Phil Collins.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
well, right. Well, pre Phil Collins, there
Yeah,
was
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
it was Ooh, I'm drawing a blank on his name now, but he sang Salisbury Hill, and yeah, I'm gonna think of it like right after the show. Great artist, but yeah, he was before Phil Collins was the main guy, and they were like this crazy prog rock band. Um, do different time signatures and all this ridiculous live stuff. And it's like, hey, if you're gonna call yourself fucking Genesis, you better, yeah, Peter Gabriel. Thank you. I knew someone in the chat would have it. I don't know why I can't think of things on the spot. But like, yeah, I remember my uncle saying, like, we're the best live band ever. Because if you're gonna call yourself fucking Genesis, you better be, right? Kind of the same concept. That's my point. Um, but yeah, anyway.
Great fucking story.
Anyway. So you all autos, right? All your breeding for now.
Absolutely.
Autos.
Yeah,
Cool.
right now there are some projects in the works for crossing photos over to autos, but really, whenever we went back, I'll take it back a little bit further. Whenever we went to, I would say, started growing them it was around 2015, 2016. Really fell in love with the auto traits. The vigor. I mean, I could go on and on about them, and they weren't that great back then like they are now. Like, I mean, we've come a long ways in the auto world.
Oh man, have
They're
we
doing,
ever?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
and so, but I fell in love with the plant, and when we was really looking at just staying here in the house, keeping the breeding, just doing it, not spreading the seed around, but since we've done what we've done, we want to pass the buck. This every state in the United States is pretty much almost legalized except ours and probably about maybe 5 others. And so I'm an advocate, right? So I would probably say that I've probably given away more seeds than I've sold. I mean, I'll be honest with you on that. I've probably given out more seeds than I've sold. I work with several different other people on Instagram, Grow House Texas being one. They're huge advocates for legalization. I'm going to go down. I think it's the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. So the way the Texas
Nice.
laws are, they do the whole point zero 0.03 THC law. And so they actually have skirted around the law and you sell legal THC here. And but anyway, the Texas Taste of Texas Hemp Cup's going on in Austin, December 10th. Going to be down there, going to teach a class, try to teach people how to grow and provide more seed. You know, that's how I'm spreading my genetics. It isn't really about the money. It's about getting it out there. When we looked at the market, is who are we focusing on? I'm focusing on the home grower. That's who my passion's behind. I focus on the
Nice.
guy, the mom and pop, the guy that goes to work every day. Hell, Monster. I mean, he works every day. It's the guys that grow at home. That's who I want to help. You know, you want to help the vets. You want to help those type of people. I'm not about commercial cannabis. Um, you know, they're always going to have their clones in their photos, right? Really want to create something special for the home grower, and we wanted it to be, you know, obviously whenever you look at the home grower, they ain't got a whole lot of room. We're all tent pirates,
Yeah.
so we need feminized seed, right? So we might as well get some feminized seed rolling because you buy that
Ah,
pack of seeds, you want it all to be feminized, unless you're breeding. You want
amen.
to put it in the soil and say, okay, you know it's going to be a female plant with a guarantee behind it, and you don't have to worry about little balls popping up on it because it's been tested. Kind of like, well, I ain't going to mention the names. That's
Man.
easier to not be mentioned.
Yeah, hey,
Well,
shit happen. I know all too well what you mean by that, sir. But like, listen, I love hearing that, man. Like, we have to hammer the point home. You are a tent pirate yourself who understands high value tent real estate. Like,
Exactly.
we don't have time. We don't have time to fuck around with growing bunk. We don't have time to fuck around with growing, you know, males. We don't have time to fuck around growing herms.
Nope.
We don't have time to fuck around. We are sailing the high seas of cannabis cultivation over here. Like sometimes the waters get rough. So like, and again, like in prohibition land, it's like shit. It's that much more of a priority. So like, respect, man. And you mentioned vets too. That's what's up. I love hearing like you got those guys in mind and all the people that like can't really afford beans too. Like,
yeah, man, your passion really shines through, and it's catchy, you know. And I mean, you're really passionate about it. I can just see it talking to you. What would you say is like your favorite part of breeding? Like what makes you want to continue breeding? Right?
Uh, Helping others is probably my passion. But you know, if you want to talk about the breeding process, my favorite part is probably the selection process. It's having all, you know, I always akin the genetics itself back to human beings. You know, you can stick two parents together and the child isn't the same. You know, you might have blue-eyed parents and then boom, you got a brown-eyed baby. And so I like being able to select. So you get those two parents together and it's breed or seeding that offspring and getting them to pop and looking to see what you got. I mean, you know, I can take a strain that I buy and I'll go and purchase. I've got a whole entire huge seed vault of stuff I probably never going to grow in years, but it's true. But we try to plant a lot of plants. You select a few, and what I try to do is I try to find the best two that I can find, and either reverse one of them and get it to cross back and get seeds out of it, either self it or we have the intent at the first of it, and we'll start one 2 weeks early and go ahead and hit it with the spray and get it to produce seeds. So kind of like, you know, you think of some strains that you like, we want to produce more seeds of that, and I won't breed just a strain straight out of the pack. I'll breed the F2 version or the self version that I've got quite a bit of seeds of, so I can actually hunt this and go through the genetic line.
That's interesting. I don't think I've heard
love it.
anybody take that approach before. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's a
saying
little
people
bit.
don't, but I've never heard anybody describe their selection process like that. Really, like you're
Yeah,
selfing the seeds or making seeds to and then selecting those. I mean, that's
yeah. basically creating another
Makes
generation of it from my selection or what we have, right?
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
it
So like
does.
your first step when you find a pheno you like, this kind of like I remember that stuck out when you would describe kind of your process earlier. Your first step when you find a pheno you like in a particular auto is to self it and make seeds of that one, right? To have like more of a stock of to choose from.
Yes, that's true, but it also unlocks its grandparents' genetics. I mean, it unlocks a lot of stuff. That one set of seeds is not going to always be the same plant. I mean, you can't just get
Gotcha.
a genetic identical plant from self.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it does.
yeah.
You are going to carry some of those traits, and you've got some desirable traits in there. So why not plant 50 of them and then hunt the one you like, you really do love, and go with that?
I like that
Now,
approach a
all
lot.
right.
So that it
Uh,
opens up the genetic variability a little bit, and that gives you the ability to then plant a bunch more seeds and sift, kind of make a bigger selection more worthwhile because you have more variability throughout your hunt.
Now,
Exactly.
when you do this selection process, right? And obviously you remember what the one that you self the seed that the plant you selfed, right? Like that was
Yeah.
special to you. That's the reason you selfed it. When you go through the selection process, do you find yourself looking for that trait again? Or are you sometimes you surprise yourself like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting this, like that's what I want, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Good,
how does that go?
good
It's funny
question.
that you say that because that has happened a time or two, right? So, yeah, you're looking for the same exact plant. You're not always going to find it, but what you do in that selfing process, you do unlock some traits, and it might be the grandparent that is just, a monster of a plant, and this thing just all of a sudden has it's a larger plant than the rest of its brothers and sisters, and you're like, man, I really do like that one. I like the structure of it, and then the terps and the smell come through, and I mean they are on point. So you can unlock like a magical unicorn through that process.
Mm.
Don't find them all the time, but yeah, just to answer your question, yes, I do start out looking for the same one. I mean, that's kind of the process because I fell in love with that one that I selfed. I'm going to start down that
How
road.
often would you say that happens? Like 75% of the time, 50% of the time? Like how often like you that's your intent is to get that again, obviously. How
Yeah.
often would you say that that happens? Like most of the time? I mean, I'm just curious.
Out of how many plants? Like 50 whenever I plant for a pheno
Yeah.
hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
50
gonna be
plants. Wow.
lucky. I'm gonna be lucky if I find it early. I want to say probably one out of maybe three plantings. So maybe one out of 150 plants, I might find something that's truly like the original. I mean, it's real
Wow.
high odd. Well, I would say low odds. I mean, it's not betting odds, of course,
Mhm.
but every now and then you're going to discover something. So I mean, you're basically opening up Pandora's box,
Hmm.
and so we start down that road, and if we I mean, if we find what we're looking for in the first 50, we're there, right? And so we'll isolate it off to the side, and we'll start down that breeding process. Now, I'll do that whenever I film seeds too, because I mean, my films. I know, listened to Alabrije on the podcast last 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
Start some of the same process. If we're going to film, we start that process 2 weeks. We typically 2 to 3 weeks earlier, we'll plant that stock and hunt what we're looking for. And then we'll start the reversal process on it whenever it starts to show flower. And then we come up with the selection back behind it. We'll start the other plantings.
Gotcha. So you do like the staggered plantings as well. That's a pretty common technique, I would assume.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, you
Do you
want
ever
the
have
Makes
male
sense.
stacks. Go ahead,
do you ever
Gert.
have hunts that absolutely fail? Like
Yes.
you how often do you go in searching for something and either not end up being what you want it to be in the first place and you were just like, "Oh, this wasn't worth it," or
Yeah.
you just don't find it anything at all?
Well, it happens more times than you think it doesn't. I mean, it happens to me more anyway. I feel like I get godsmacked sometimes. Uh, but so yeah, I've planted 50 of them in the floor and get them up to teenagers, and I'm not seeing anything that I like at all. And it happens more on occasion with some of the strains, that are lesser known that I don't know. Some of them I find are harder to pop that I use their seeds, and I try to go down that lineage. Don't and I don't find anything. I mean, I just flat don't find it. I'll grow some of them out. I give them away to friends, and let them grow them out, but it's just not what I'm looking for. So you're basically trashing a bunch of auto plants, which I hate to do that, but you're really, I mean, it's a selection process, and that to me
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
favorite part. You got to get the numbers up, and if you get the numbers up and you find what you're looking for, then you've got something special, and
Well,
you can
that's what
call it.
separates breeders from fucking pollen chuckers. You know, anybody can make seeds. I've said it 1,000 times. Like making seeds is fucking easy. Like breeding and selecting and having a purpose, that's what's fucking hard. So it sounds like you're putting in a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the releases aren't going to come very often. I promise you that. They're going to be few and far between. Um, I've got
Oh,
I've got some stuff in the lineup.
that's
I
good.
really want I really want to create something purple that's fire.
aha! That was my next question. I really want to know as a breeder what your opinion of purple weed is. We've got some strong opinions on this show.
I know. I know what the opinions are, and I'm pretty much I almost fall along the lines of Monster. I haven't seen anything that just is super impressive. Um, I like the color. I love the color of the bag appeal. I like the black color. If you get those families
Yes.
that are solid black and you get that flower
Yes.
that's black and deep violet, that's really desirable. Has a beautiful bag appeal, but it just doesn't have the terps. It doesn't have the THC or the pack. It doesn't pack the punch. It doesn't have the how do I put it? The
Facts.
synergistic, yeah, the effects that you want. I mean, it's just not there. It's not. I'm looking for the one that is going to knock you in the dirt. You're going to remember it. Your grandkids are going to
Oh,
remember this strain. That's the
Mhm.
one I'm looking
uh,
for.
I
Do you
feel
think
that,
we'll ever
and
get there
I
where
I ca
purple weed
I
will be
have
worth it?
I have one that I told you I'm really impressed with. It's Great Pupil by Mass Medical. If you ever get a chance to grow some of that, um, super, super purple too, almost looks fake.
well,
Like
so in purple, you, you have mentioned mass medical, and I got to get me some of that great pupil at some point. Um, but I like if I'm recalling the pure Michigan correctly, like it had that black kind of color to it.
it did.
It
It
wasn't
did.
quite a purple bud. It was more like black, and I think that black is more like where that like earthy um it's the meat terps. Meat terps, and if like there's this new trend, right? The new trend in terps. I think you'll see it in a couple months. A lot of breeders going to be selecting for chocolate terps, cocoa, right? Like the cocoa
Yep.
chem, right? We heard about
Exactly.
this from Night Owl. Like so that it's a real thing. I, I'll be honest. I have one of my photos up in the tent right now. It was one of the lady boys, unfortunately. So they got issues, but it's got chocolate terps. It smells like a fucking Butterfinger candy bar. Like no lie. Like unwrapping the candy bar and like smelling it. You're like chocolate and peanut butter. Like that. Wow, it's distinct too. It took me a while to like figure out like make the connection that that's what I was getting scent wise. You know what I mean? Because not something you would expect to get off of a plant. But then like when I made the connection, it's just like, oh my god, it smells 100% like Butterfinger. So I think it's interesting, man. It's all I'm getting at. Like, and I do think that maybe the black and the purple is kind of how you get there. Um, yeah, that's so maybe that's like the phenotype of the purple black weed that's gonna give you those like knockout terps, the knockout effects, all that stuff that all of us want in the black and purple weed, but unfortunately, very hard to come by.
Some of the,
Yeah,
lemon carver from Biff is like that. Like, you get a lot like, some of the blacker leaves, almost slightly purple when you break it up. So yeah,
And
I never really thought of that until you mentioned it, Captain. Honestly,
that comes from the peanut butter breath too, right? Like that, because that's
yeah,
half peanut butter breath and half lemon,
Mm. Black lemon cake.
Yeah, black. So like even there, black. But the peanut butter breath itself, I know is one of those black strains. Um, yeah, it's a cool thing, and a lot of people have said, that's like Instagram weed, and it's all for show. But like I have to push back a little bit against that because yeah, I mean, I got fucking candy bar, Butterfinger candy bar terps right now. It's really nice, and it's like half. It's not. I wouldn't say it's black weed, but it has. It's fading right now, and it has not. It's not a bright green strain. Let's just say.
It'll probably darken up a lot too when you dry it.
Agreed.
I think as growers, we have different needs and wants from our weed as a whole than like an average smoker consumer. Like, yeah, we can talk all day about bag appeal, right? But when it comes down to it, I spend a ton of time in these tents with these girls while they're alive. And if they're lookers, I like spending time in there more. So, give me those beautiful girls. I want to see them. Give me the colors. Let me see everything that this plant has to offer. Like, smoking it afterward is great. It's a fun reward and everything, but I spend more time with them when they're alive than when they're dead.
Spoken like a
Facts.
true grower. I love it. I mean, and I have to agree with you. Like honestly, now that I grow my own, it's all part of the fun, all part of the experience is, looking at the beautiful plants while they're alive and having like a carefree, enjoyable grow. I mean, yeah, it's very great point. Is all I'm saying. So when a breeder like Outcast selects for those, plants that give you the nice like candelabra type structure without any manipulation or work on your end, it's just it adds to the overall enjoyable experience. So kudos, man. That's all I'm saying. Kudos.
I think we'll get there. I think we'll get there with,
Yeah.
anything you want will be available and doable at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I think we've yet to unlock some terps out of this plant, right? So we're still yet to see everything it's capable of.
Yeah, I
Isn't that
like that.
Oh yeah.
exciting?
You're gonna
I
get
like that out. I like that outlook a lot.
purple autoflowers that you don't need to train, that get you high as shit, give you the munchies, kill any pain you're feeling, and did I mention give you the munchies? So and meat terps if you like those sort of things too. But
If that's your thing.
man, I can't wait. I can't wait for the future. It's getting me excited just thinking about it.
Fun stuff.
Need another one of these.
Yeah.
So what are you
I'll smoke to
working
that.
on? What are you working on currently right now, Outcast?
So right now, I have been hunting through several different purple strains from different breeders, looking to try to find that special one. A lot of European seeds. If of course Captain hasn't seen it, but if you've posted on Instagram or seen my Instagram, I posted a few here recently. Hey, I'm not taking a cheap stab at him. Uh, but
You
anyway,
know,
the
no,
structure,
just
man.
real quick. I do want to
Yeah.
say I will at some point try to make a new account. At times, just unfortunately not here yet. I don't think they'll quite take the ban hammer off me that easily. I might even wait till like the new year. Just give it a nice long rest, but I'll be back.
Oh yeah, you'll be back in full force.
Yeah, they can't keep me
But
off.
no.
But
But anyway,
so
the
enjoy it. Have your fun while it lasts. Pile on, just dog pile on the captain. He can't access your IG posts in Discord. he can't.
I got posted on Vivo too.
I know, man. I know. it is funny, man. I gotta ask all the guys. They post in Discord like an IG link, and I'm like, please post screenshot.
Sad.
So yeah, but Vero has been filling the gap quite nicely, man. So and you're on there now too. So hey, get on over, everybody. Get
Water's
on over.
nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. It just, needs a little more swimmers in it to be a full like a real wave pool experience.
It's
That's
getting
what
there. Every
that's
day I
what you
see
want.
more and more. I get another request from somebody that just joined. So
Yeah,
it's coming
it's
along.
coming, man. I can't even believe, like, honestly, I can't believe how far it's come in the short time we've been on there. But that's a whole different story, man. I'm sorry I interrupted you again. You were talking about Instagram. It triggered me.
About
That's
your
all I
latest,
know.
about your latest work on IG.
Yep.
Latest work on IG. So I've been hunting down a lot of purple strains from different breeders, trying to find the true color, right? So trying to find something that's uniform and it pops from seed. It's got that black in it. Whenever you see it coming up and it starts to go into pre-flower, I'm really looking for that color. But what I found so far, man, and to be honest, a lot of the European seeds that I've popped, and I'm saying the European, a lot of them, the genetics originate over in Spain and over in that direction. I'm getting a lot of foxtail and a lot of loose bud structure, and that just doesn't fly
Mm.
well with me. And it would take me forever to get that out of it. So I mean, it's just really it's going to be an episode that is going to take some time to get a true purple strain that I will release that I thoroughly enjoy, that I can put my name behind. It's going to take some time. I mean, it's a long road, uphill climb. You know, the one that your grandmother went to school in when she was young, 10 miles in
Up,
the snow uphill both
yeah,
ways.
uphill both
Yeah,
ways. Yep,
I
yeah.
mean, 100%, dude. It's like, honestly, that's like the hardest. That's like breeding autos on like legendary mode. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just trying to like breed any auto. You're trying to make a fucking purple strain that'll like be terpy, frosty, kick your ass, and get you really hungry all at once.
It's on my bucket list. It's
Yeah.
on my bucket list. I want something that's truly going to impress Monster
Uh,
and change his mind on it.
What do you mean change my
I
mind? Dude, you go back on my IG. I fucking with autos back in the day. Trust me.
Talking about
No, I think
autos,
it
I'm
just
talking
means the,
about
the
purple
purple, the
strains.
Oh,
purple.
the
Yeah,
purple.
yeah,
Oh
dude,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Now,
it's gonna be dude. You got your work ahead of you to change my mind on
I
that
mean,
shit.
dude, listen, I might be the biggest purple hater around these parts. I mean, trust me. I I listen. I got one up in my tent right now that, like, I thought if there were any purple autoflower that's out right now that would give me what I'm after with purple weed, it would surely be this one. And just ain't
Nada.
it. It just ain't it. It's just like the same thing I get from all of them, which is just like they look great, and a lot of times they have that like amazing bud structure, and like they look amazing. But terp wise, it just smells like dirt.
yeah, it comes
It's
up
not
short.
even
Well,
a good dirt.
I have a theory on that, and this may offend some people, but I mean it's a fact. Autos just aren't quite as terpy as photos. They're just not quite there yet. They're close, right? So if you have that combined with the purple, that generally takes away terps. I think it's harder to get a purple auto to taste good. Your back's against the wall. You're already starting behind the finish line, so you got your work cut out for you, man. And I'm interested to see what you come up with. When you do, make sure you hit me up because I will definitely I will definitely grow it and put it to the test, brother. And then I'll give you
Yeah,
my honest feedback. So
I'll
yeah,
have
man.
to run some tests first before I send some your way then.
I love it, man.
Sure.
Fucking legendary mode. Heroic mode. I don't know, what do they call it? But yeah, like that's kind of how I look at it, dude. Like, I mean, that's and again, like, you're a man who, respects tent real estate, high value tent real estate, that, like, anything that you're offering right now has been, thoroughly tested. It's something you got a stamp of approval. I mean, I've only grown one personally, but like it's got that TKOG in it, and it's kind of the backbone of all your work right now. So stands to reason that all the rest of them are going to be every bit as good. So, I mean, I want to see people out there growing them out. I mean, and the thing is, I think we mentioned it. You ain't charging an arm and a leg for these packs either. Like,
No, I send out packs. You buy them from the seed dispenser, or not dispensary, but the seed store online. We're talking. I think the CD has them listed for $28 a pack. I mean, they're very, very cheap. You get 4 in the pack, and then you get another couple extra. They're throwing there as freebies. You probably get 6 to 7 seeds for less than $30. And
can't beat that. Auto Fems, all auto
yeah,
Fems.
yes,
I mean, really, it's half the price of what I see mostly out there. So, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
definitely not
awesome.
in it for the money, man. That's
Yeah.
no,
And the
and
packaging is beautiful. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this. It
Oh
is
shit!
absolutely like it's beautiful.
now
yeah,
I feel like a tool bag not going to check my mailbox before the show.
It's beautiful packaging. Like you can just tell the care that goes into this. Like this is you get this, that, you know, love and passion went into this project. So it shows. Beautiful work.
Yeah, so
Hell
Monster, you
yeah!
got some of those in your mailbox, but Captain, I'll just have to send you out a different strain.
Oh hey, dude, honestly would love it. I was gonna say I didn't get that box when you sent me the Sacred Watch. It came in like a nice pack. Great logo. I love the pirate like stomping on stomping his way forward. I guess we should say, pressing forward in the seas of autoflower cultivation, as we said. But
It's the
no,
skeleton cowboy. He's got a little
it's
cowboy hat. It's a skeleton cowboy, so he's got a cowboy
skeleton
hat on.
cowboy.
Yeah, he's got chaps on. It's an ode to Texas. Goes back to the Lone Star.
Hey, I guess I just have like a bias towards seeing it as like a pirate sort of thing. But yeah,
Uh,
so no,
He
that
looks at a
makes a
clown.
lot more sense
Looks
now.
like that clown looks like a pirate.
that's that's
Hey,
kind
honey,
of where it's at.
do you see that cloud? Does that look like a pirate to you?
Like, no, that's a mailbox, sweetheart. That's not a pirate. No, exactly. No, man, you like again, like this is a man who's not here to fuck around. He's not here to waste your time. Not here to he sympathizes with all the tent pirates out there and the plight of that we're all in. Like we need to fill our jars with medicine quickly. We need to do it efficiently. We don't have, necessarily the money to be spending on extra nutrients, extra medium. When you grow reg seeds, as we said, you shouldn't be afraid of them. But one thing that you can't really control is like you're always going to end up using more nutrients or medium or just time generally when you grow reg seeds. So like if that's a factor for you,
I don't fear fucking regs at all, right? But as far as autos go, I won't fuck with reg autos. It just doesn't seem like it's like I don't know. It's not like you can take one of them and clone it afterwards. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want to waste a fucking pot growing a male auto that I'm just gonna throw out. Like doesn't make any sense to me. Um,
unless you're breeding.
yeah, if you're
yes.
breeding,
I agree.
yeah.
There ain't no sense in growing regs. All us tent pirates growing autos want auto fems, and that's what we want. So like, man, here's a dude offering you fucking the superior genetics for literally half price, and I mean, I respect the hell out of that, dude. So, and they're you want one that'll take pain away and make you hungry. I mean, I can tell you right now, I am starving, and I just ate some tacos not an hour and a half ago. I mean, we were out at this little Mexican restaurant. I had some of those birria tacos. Oh, talk about some good food. Yeah, now I'm hungry again. So
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
you want tacos? Come to Texas for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Texas has a good taco scene. I mean, they fucking auto. You're right next to Mexico for crying out
Hell yeah, you can say we invented them.
loud.
And I know you
Or we
guys you definitely invented nachos. That's like historically accurate.
Oh,
There's
really?
like it's like a weird story. Some dude just like yeah, like look Google like the history of nachos. It was just some like cook who like had scraps in a kitchen and a bunch of people playing cards in a dining room and he was like, just fucking fry up some tortillas and throw some cheese on them, melt it.
That's
Hey,
funny.
turned out to be delicious.
Sure did. Sure did. So I want to take it back to the Sacred Watch in particular. How many days is that one to finish?
75 to 85, man. It's been roughly in between that 10-day time frame. It depends on the pheno that you get, but most of the time mine have been closer to 80, 81, 82 days that I've
Mhm.
finished them out. And I've had similar harvests to Captain, but I don't grow. Like I said, I don't hand water. I use Blue Mat system. I'm sure you're
Mhm.
familiar with it. I really
Yeah.
need to get on auto pots, but it did
You don't need to
automate.
do anything, man. Blue Mont works fine. They're
Whatever works.
it's a great product. Whatever works for
Yeah,
you.
dude. Hey,
But
Yeah.
we
really,
had them on the show. They're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Auto watering any way you can do it, man. Go
oh yeah,
DIY a system from Lowe's if it works. Hey.
Hmm.
auto fertigation. But yeah, it. The ones I've grown, I've gotten several that have been up there in the 160 to 180 gram dry weight off the plant. I mean, I was real impressed with that particular strain as far as size, structure, taste. I mean, he got a different pheno. He got the sour apple type smell. I've gotten several that were more like peach orchard. It does have
Mm,
a fruity background to it. It I would say there's probably about 3 to 4 phenos inside that group in that generation. But
that's cool though. Like, dude, all of them are going to be big and they're going to give you great medicine, I imagine too. Like, it's just not all of them are probably going to be like half-pound phenos that smell like sour apple, but that's in there. That's definitely in there, man. Yeah, it's one of those that's a creeper too. You know what I mean? Like I now that I'm smoking it a little bit, like definitely way more high, like 5-10 minutes after you smoke a bong rip. Is that is that intentional? That
not intentional. I mean, it's just probably
right?
it's a side effect, right? So
It's a good
Side
effect.
benefit.
Yeah. I think that's
benefit. There
just
you
like
go with the side
that comes from a lot of that's like those OG effects. I associate that a lot with OG. And
effect. He's a real heavy hitter.
yeah, like I think what headband was like came from that OG background. I don't know, mate. I could be wrong, but like it's that kind of weed where you know you smoke some and then you like go outside and then you look around. You're like, oh my god, I'm way more high than I realized. Holy shit! These
Yeah, the
these
last.
these cars are going by awful fast.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't even realize how high you are until you step out of your house.
Or you get in the car and you go driving down the road and you're doing 10 and you think you're hauling ass.
Oh, that that would be me right now, sir. But yeah, this stuff's heavy hitters, man. Like that, I love OGs. I think you get a lot of cool terps from OGs that aren't like they're not necessarily typical.
Another
I
one.
don't know.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
sorry.
I was going to talk about another one that we got working in the back. Well, it's on the back burner, but one that I've been real impressed with is I don't know if y'all have heard of Covert Genetics out of
Hmm.
No,
Colorado.
no, never
Uh,
heard of him.
he's got I-95 and he's got one that's called, and we're hunting it down. It's I Smell Gas is the name of that one. And he released some packs back. I picked up quite a few of them. Uh,
Nice.
the terps on that one, burnt rubber tires.
Oh,
Nice.
Yo,
Yeah,
is that the guy that Jeremy runs on his Build a Soil channel? Like, is that the guy who did halitosis?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's him. That's where I've heard of him. So cool, man. He does a lot of those like funky, gassy, yeah, OG.
Right
That's
up
where it
my
all
alley.
comes from.
Yeah, he's a Kimmy gas diesel type person. I mean, he likes those type of terps as well as I do. I mean, I'm more of the gas diesel side. I'm not so much the fruity than the nowadays stuff. I guess you could call it the Gen Z strains, but
Hey,
I'm more the old school.
that's-
I mean, I like the gas, the dirt. You know, let's get down on it.
I like a little bit of everything, but I'm definitely more of like a fuel, gas, like funk type of guy. You know, definitely. Like if I had to pick just one kind of like terpene profile, that would definitely be the one I lean towards.
mm,
But dude, I mean, not gonna lie, like I like a good cookies every now and then, like something with cookies in it if it's grown right. You know, it's a different effect, right? Um, but you know, when I want to fucking sedate at the end of the night, man, you know what I'm fucking talking about. Mhm.
Yeah.
no, that's a good like. Honestly, that's like now I kind of want to ask that as a question to everyone. Like, what's your like desert island terp? Like, if you had to choose one and only one for the rest of your life, like, and you know, you don't have to choose like a specific strain, but you would have to choose like this specific profile. So, you know, if you're a gas guy, if that's your answer, I mean, that's honestly probably my answer. If I had to pick one, I would go gas. Um, yeah. What about you, G3? It's your
Fruit.
desert island terp. Yeah, fruit. Yeah.
I mean, would I have to pick a specific one? Yeah,
No,
fruit.
no. But you
Yeah.
mean
Give me the like cornucopia. Like Tropicana
Cornucopia.
Lady.
There you
she's a
go.
Yeah.
Gen Z smoker. But she's not Gen Z.
I like my weed to be pleasant.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I think it fits your personality. The
I,
you know what I mean. You're kind of bubbly and you know, upbeat.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I love gas as well. I'm a big fan of gas. Um, yeah, I really like the earthy, like if you ever find strains that like I found a strain once that was like earthy, rainy, like oh, it was amazing. Like that petrichor smell, like after it starts raining. Oh, so
mm,
unbelievable. But
interesting.
yeah,
That's
that
making me
like
think of
earthiness.
like a Bed Bath and Beyond candle that just like smells like
No, no, Darby.
autumn thunderstorm. No,
No,
no.
no. It was.
Uh,
It's very like earthy.
I hear you. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, earthy. Like
Raw.
it's earthy is kind of it's it's an interesting profile. Earthy.
Yeah, I guess it has some of that like pininess to it as
mhm.
well. You know.
I feel like earthy is where all that like weird, like we were talking about chocolate. We were talking. I mean, there's coffee
Yeah,
terps.
coffee.
There's
Yep.
like earthy is really where a lot of interesting stuff comes from. But like it's gotta be like harnessed. Otherwise, in an unfocused earthiness, I feel like just smells and tastes like dirt, which is what most purple strains are to me. It's just unfocused earthiness terps. And I just I don't know.
Unfocused earthiness. I'm gonna get that.
Focus. You don't want your strains to have
It's
ADHD.
I need my earthy terps to be like very
Don't you
specific,
fuck?
Listen,
like
you really need to pay attention, okay?
yes. You got to be
We have to get through
if
this.
you're gonna be an earthy terp, you better be a specialist, like meat, chocolate, like very specific. But
Specialist. I
that's
like
we're
that.
working on that. We're working on it, especially in the autos. But I'm telling you guys right now, I got fucking Butterfinger candy bars, which I mean, I don't think I've smelled an auto that has that going on yet. So the chocolate thing is weird, man. Really weird.
I'm really interested in that particular line, you know, to go down that lineage and try to see what we can find because you got coffee, you've got chocolates. Hell,
I'd
you know,
love a good coffee like terp.
Ooh.
oh
Like
yeah,
remember that pre-roll? Your wife got at the rally.
Yeah. She
Oh,
won
great.
that shit. It was
But it
called
didn't
cappuccino.
it didn't carry
Yeah.
over. Like, it smelled like
Yeah.
coffee, but the
Didn't
taste,
taste so
it
much.
yeah, it didn't carry over, but it was very, like, yeah, coffee smelling like
Smelled like a latte or like a
mm.
cappuccino. Like it had the cream and the coffee. Um, yeah. Interesting, man. But like, no, as far as like desert island terps, if I'm picking one to just stick with that profile, like it's gas 100% for me. So, it's a question you should all ask yourselves. It's an interesting. You can learn a lot about a man by his desert island terp profile,
And a woman.
and a woman, and a person in general. Even if
Person.
you,
Yeah, a
you know,
person.
just don't even, yeah, whatever, just a person. Um, Now, who didn't mention theirs? What's yours, Outcast? You said
Mine
fuel.
would be gas. Yeah, mine would be
Yeah.
fuely. It'd be gas, diesel. I definitely want to go down that road. That'd probably be my desert island turf for sure. It'd
Yeah.
be fuel.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
That song
Exactly.
fucking sucks. Ugh. And I love Metallica, but that song sucks.
Yeah, not a good album of theirs, not at all.
The men.
But I think yeah, like I'm really enjoying a lot of the like new school mixed with the old school stuff lately, which is, it's got to have that gassy kind of backbone, but mixed with kind of those Gen Z fruity terps. I've really been digging that kind of stuff, and
I think
that's
I really think we've yet to uncover everything from that plant, man. I mean, we're early, probably in the infancy of all this breeding. We've done quite a bit of work, and we've still got a long ways to go.
We really are, because if you think about it,
100%.
most like I don't think people up until the last 10 or so years, maybe 15 years, have really, when they breed, like that's what they're putting the work into, is the terps, right? So
Yeah.
you don't really, it's still relatively new when you think about it. Like these days, more people are interested in terps than they are, the THC numbers. Like I mean, you still get people that are like, oh, what's the THC numbers? But we only care. I mean, I only care about the terps. Like the real smokers, in my opinion, only care about the terps. Like, how does it smell? How does it taste? Perfect. I want to try that. You know.
Yeah.
So
I can get away with a 14% with if it's got a 4 or 5% terp level. I mean, you got fire.
you do,
Mhm.
you do, and I 100% agree with that. I'm glad you really said that. I
That's
really am glad you said that, because I've smoked shit that I
a
know
great point.
like doesn't test well, like 15, 16% max. And I've smoked and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, man, that's wild.
All right, terpenes, like terpenes themselves, like I mean, what is the scientific definition of a terpene even? Like, I mean, are we talking about just like natural scents that are found like in organic compounds, whether it's plants or fruit? I mean, like a lot of it is plants. They come from, plants mostly, but like when the only other realm I've heard the word terpenes used in, other than cannabis, is when discussing essential oils,
Hmm.
interestingly enough, right? And, like
Which
each
which people
oil,
use for aromatherapy, right?
yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Not only that, not only aromatherapy, but like when you are buying any, if you're at any oil store, or like you get a book or whatever, reading about essential oils, there are some that are like extremely harmful to pets and
Oh,
you in
yeah.
the wrong way. And like you have to be very, very careful with some of these things because like they're strong as fuck. And like if it can help you, it can hurt you, sort of thing. Like it's the dichotomy of nature, right? Amazing, but like it, you have to be careful with them. What I am saying is like, man, there ain't no lie that like terpenes do have an effect on you,
Hmm.
whether it's medicinal, or whether it's even like in a bad way. So, it's all
Well,
about them terps.
they've recently discovered within the last few years that when you stick your nose into that jar or that bag and you smell that and you enjoy it, you're getting something from it. I mean, that's something we used to say as kids, like, "Oh man, I wish I could get high just smelling this shit." Well, you kind of are, and without
I
even
know.
realizing it. So
Yeah, it's like a serotonin boost.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, 100%, 100%.
They
smells
say
me
that like
happy.
smell is the sense that's most tied to memory and like all this stuff too. So I don't know. There is some physiology and some psychology involved in it all too, where like certain terps can like bring about like certain feelings and certain, almost like when you hear a certain song, like you get like goosebumps, because I don't know, does that happen to you?
Oh, for sure.
Like, so
Oh my
like
gosh.
it can.
Can you imagine there's definitely a strain that you'll find
What
at
gives
some
you
point,
goosebumps?
and all of a sudden you're sitting in the passenger seat of your best friend's car in high school, and like your favorite song is playing, and just like the wind is blowing and the windows are open. It's the best. And that all comes back just from that experience.
Yeah, and that's smell, and that's terpenes. I feel like there is a lot of unexplored value and medicine in aromatherapy, but like, there's also the bad side of terpenes too. Like we all know, Photo
That's
Plus and like,
well,
the
that shit you showed me, the fucking smells like tea. I don't even remember what the
oh
fuck it was. Oh
yeah,
my god, that was
yeah,
so
some
funny. You were like, "Dude, you wanna try it?" I'm like, "No, no,
I'm
there's
okay.
nothing
Thanks.
appealing on that at all." Um,
yeah, certain terps will just make you not want to smoke your weed. You
yeah,
know,
100%. So, we're getting, towards the end of the show here, and, when we had talked to Outcast, just lining up everything for the show, he had mentioned that he wants to do something special for our Patreon crew. Why don't you go ahead
Yeah.
and tell everybody what's going on, Outcast?
Yeah, so all the Patreon members out there, I wanted to support y'all because they support you guys, and I'm a avid listener, big fan of you guys. I mean, I love the podcast.
thanks, dude.
Since y'all help me, I've got to help you. I mean, it's only reciprocal. It's only right. It all makes us can of fam. The people who are doing the Patreon out there that are supporters of the podcast, we're going to give y'all a chance to grow the Sacred Watch as well. So we're going to send out a pack of, I believe it's a full pack of beans to all the Patreon members. So I've sent that over,
Word.
and should be getting it out. I don't know what time. I'll let Monster deal with those logistic problems.
Thanks.
Thank
I got
you
enough of
so
that shit on my
much.
just
fucking plate.
just shovel them off his way. No,
No,
dude, I love that. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, and I think we deserve to do a grow along with that. I think I wouldn't be opposed to anyone popping those as soon as they get them. However, I do think I would grow her again now that I'm smelling her and reminiscing about all the good times we shared together while she was alive. Ah, just brings
well,
back
I know
those
we got some
great
Albrije
memories.
beans going out to the Patreons
Yeah,
first. So
Yeah.
don't be expecting those beans anytime soon, guys. We got to spread them out. Can't be
spread them
just
out a little bit.
shoving out beans all the time. So,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is awesome, man. That's awesome. It's probably next year grow along sort of thing. But dude, listen, everyone I think deserves the chance to grow these beans. They can, if you're not Patreon supporters, I mean, quite frankly, get on
What are you doing
board
with your life?
already. Yeah, like I mean, have you figured this out yet? Like it pays off. Um, but however, you can access these beans without being like a monthly, supporter of the show. You don't have to do it that way. So just, I think you said your website is down right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's currently being under construction, so we'll have it back up. But in the meanwhile, The seed bank, bcd.com, has quite a bit of stock of my beans. And then we also were doing through, like I said, through the Texas thing, man, at Grow House, Texas. We work with them. They're a media company. Liz and Patrick, they're great people. We work a weekly giveaway with them people. So you
It's
can jump on Liz's page.
it's D, like the letter, like Delta,
Yes.
Delta seedy,
Yes.
like you're a seedy fucking person, you shady motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they're not. Zach and Kirk are great people.
No,
Uh,
yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to associate that in anyone's mind. That's I'm sorry, but dcd.com is where you would find those beans. His website is up, and it's going to be up and running, I'm sure, real soon. But like,
yes, sir.
man, you got how many? Half a dozen strains right now.
8 strains total.
8. Shit. There you go.
That's a lot
So
of
like,
work.
yeah.
You put in that work, man. It's being noticed, you know.
Mhm.
It's
It's one of the reasons
100%.
we have you on the show. We only want to highlight the people that are doing it right, and the people that are putting in the work, and the people that have the ethics and the morals. You
Yeah,
know,
man. And it's the focus on the home grower is what I love the most, you know. I don't know. It's the whole thing, man. Like there's still so many people out there. There's still so many dinosaurs, man, that like they hate on autos. They don't give them the time of day. It's like I don't know what I need to tell you people. I don't know how many pictures I need to fucking take of my plants for you to get the picture that like these things are to be taken seriously now. Like they grow weed that's I mean, it's there you will get weed that's every bit as good as photos. It's just not as consistent, I would say, as I don't know.
Yes,
Maybe
you're gonna run different phenos. I mean, that's a given. You're gonna run different phenos. It's not like you're sitting there popping a clone after clone after clone after clone, producing the same thing over and over and over. So yes, there is a little bit of variability, but variability can be good. I mean,
yeah,
it can definitely be a good thing. It doesn't have to be a negative.
it's a feature, not a bug. Like if you like exploring the world of terps, like y'all should. I mean, and autos are honestly the way to go. I mean, for real. Just it's sometimes you're surprised by what you get too. Sometimes you really are. A little bit of a grab bag.
yeah, man. I've talked about it before. That forgotten cookies, that infamous forgotten cookies that I've still never managed to get back. Have you ever tried that one, G3? Since you're like a fruity kind of gal. You never tried forgotten cookies? That's a good
Nope.
one. If you get your hands on those, talk to
I
talk to Stan. He'll get you some.
think that's one that's on the store this week, if I'm not mistaken. But
I
Ah,
think
no
so
shit.
too.
that's a whole
Yeah.
different story. If you want to spend $50 plus on your seeds, that's there you go. There's your option. But if you want to get more bang for your buck, hey, you got options, man. And I support the small guys too, like that's Mephisto. Listen, they're I don't want to say they're like a
Very,
big time.
very well established.
They are an established brand who is not gonna, like they're gonna be around next time you want to buy some seeds of theirs, and like it's just
They're becoming even more
support
stable. Like,
local, support
yeah.
the tent pirate breeders. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's support local. It's obvious.
Mephisto was once a small guy, like a couple of buddies. No,
Yeah,
they
no,
were
I'm
once a
not
small
saying
company.
they're huge. I'm not
I mean,
saying they're
the
not.
next Mephisto is out there.
Exactly. We got him right here. That's my
got 'em.
point. That's my
Appreciate
point.
that.
Yeah, man.
That's my point.
We,
Like this is a man
I
who
am the R&D
he's the R&D. Hell yeah, man. Like that's what it's all about.
Yeah. The fact that you said your favorite process is the selection process tells me all I need to know about you as a breeder. Really, honestly. The fact that is your favorite part tells you that you like to do the work. It's fun for you, right? You know, like you
Yeah.
exploring and seeing what you get, you know? It's like a box of chocolates.
But
Yeah,
if
definitely
you
for
want
sure.
focused chocolate terps, not just random earthy chocolate shit. I want just I'm just making a joke. I don't know. It's you want to take that box and then narrow it down to like your favorite shit and then put that in the pack that you sell. That's the magic, man. And that's where the selection is what it's all about, and that's the magic behind the scenes, you know? And I think like you mentioned you pop like 150 beans at a time sometimes.
We pop a lot. So right now, going in the tents, I've got probably about 18 to 20 different plants growing that are full size. When we plant them as seedlings, we of course use a mat, pop all of them, put them in solo cups, use the double solo cup method. So I do transplant. I don't just throw them in the pot. Most of them don't make it out of solo cups. If they don't have the vigor and they don't have this, the look and the structure, and they don't have it. It's the it factor it's got to have, and you get a handful of them that do, and those are the ones that are blessed to go to the second round. And I mean, we're playing Squid Games with pot, right? So they're going to the second round. They're going to the second round. They get their own home, and we move forward from there. And so that
Well,
that's
it is. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like it is
no, that's
funny you mentioned that because it is selection. The selection is all about culling the ones you're not moving forward with,
yeah, removing
right?
the herd,
So
definitely.
you're killing more plants than you are breeding with, typically.
Well, I wouldn't say killing. No, I get those plants out to my friends and some of my family. They take those things and they
They just
see them to full
they
It's not
just
maturity.
they
yeah.
get
It's just not the time for
disposed
it.
of. I got you. They just get disposed of. We'll
Yeah.
just say that.
Yep.
So, to bring it back to the beginning, you had mentioned your wife.
Yeah.
And so would you say that that was your initial purpose to start breeding is to get
Yes.
something that helped the wife?
No. So I would say that's where my passion started. Right. So I wanted to help her, and then found something my buddy had given to me that really hit the mark. And I was sitting there buying stuff off the black market that was, it was okay. I mean, I'm not going to be
Yeah.
here and lie and say it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm sure the shit was loaded with PGRs and everything else and spray with God knows what. But yeah, it was to get her medicine that I knew what was going in her body and knew isolating what helped her. And so once we got her condition identified, which we did after several rounds of testing, then it was really narrowing down. Okay, so you tried these 6 strains. Which one do you like? Which ones have helped you the most? And then, Bob throws me this TK, and I'm like, damn. I mean, it hit the mark on all the marks. Knocks her in the dirt at night, gives her the munchies, makes her hungry. And so we went down that road. That's where we started at.
Now, does she help you with the selection process at all, or is it just a one
No,
man show?
no, it's a one man show, man. I mean, she's the tester. Yeah, Miss Outcast does
Well,
everything.
that's helping in and of, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
it's all
100%.
part of the
Mhm.
it's all part of
yeah,
the
she's
testing, man. If
part
she's
of the
getting the
team.
effects from it. She's the one, she's where your passion comes from, and I get that, man. I get that 100%. Like I'm searching for the one that like takes my wife's headaches away. I have yet to find it. It's
Yeah,
A hammer.
it's
Guarantee she won't feel a fucking thing. Just kidding. You
it's
know I love you.
that's funny as
Shout
shit, actually.
shout out to Mrs. Captain.
That's funny as shit. Wait, you're saying Jinx proof that 9 pound hammer is might
Yeah,
have
that's what
something for
that's what I
that's
meant.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep.
good one.
We'll go with that.
that's all I heard. No, it's funny as shit, dude. Um, it's funny where everyone's journey comes from, man. I find yours extremely relatable and just I don't know, man. You can tell, like Monster said, your passion comes through in
Well, I
your
appreciate it.
voice.
Yeah, The missus is definitely the QA/QC. That'd probably be her official title. I'm the plant manager, so we go from there.
Plant manager.
Plant
I love
manager.
it, dude. That's a double
I love
meaning
it.
there. I like it. I
Plant
like it.
manager.
Mm,
I need that on a T-shirt. Just says plant manager.
done.
I
Gotta
mean,
write
yeah,
that down.
because like you know that like, you could mean plant like in the facility that we're in here at the. No, but you mean plant.
Exactly.
I see
I
what you
like
did there, sir.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Took you a few seconds, Captain. It's all right.
So just a little. I'm a little
It's that it's
relaxed.
that it's that sacred watch, man.
That's right. It slows me down just a tad. Just slower reaction time than usual.
That's a
But
good thing.
I'm super hungry though. Super hungry. And this beer tastes fucking awesome. Like it's one of those just like makes food taste so good. You ever it's not just the munchies. It just makes things taste good. I don't know
Ice cream.
what that is. Yeah, I could go for some ice cream. Really could.
Yeah, no, this show's not run by a bunch of potheads.
But yeah, man. What else? Do you have anything else going on? Like what do you want to tell everyone else out there, all those tent pirates that are tuning in?
Well, for those that can't afford beans, you know, go through one of the giveaways. I mean, we've got a couple of them on IG. We do a weekly giveaway there. I'll
Nice.
post it in my stories and stuff, and we send out packs weekly, man. I mean, like I told you guys before, I'll probably give away more beans than I sell, and I don't mind that at all because we are pushing it out there mainly for they can't stop us all. If everybody in the state grew, who are you going to arrest? I mean, who are you going to have
Hey,
to arrest? Everybody's growing.
an overgrow operation.
You're going to incarcerate everybody? I mean, it's not going to happen. We don't have enough prison. I mean, Texas probably has one of the largest prison populations in the states. And
They
I
don't
know
got
there's
no
a lot
more
of different
room.
candidates
Yeah.
too.
True story.
Yeah,
There was a bunch of Massachusetts prisoners that got transferred over there in the early 90s.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of BS. And I mean, I'd like to see the laws change. That's another passion of mine. Like I said, at Growcast, they go down there, I'm sorry, at Grow House, they go down there and they testify at legislature. They testify before the Texas Senate. They push these things, and I'm behind them 100%. I work with them, and
Nice.
it's a passion, it's a love, and we want to see the help and the medicine get out to those who are in need. Because let's be realistic. I mean, I'm not going to go down the quote unquote rabbit hole with the pharma and the politicians, but there's a close tie there, and
Mm.
they've pushed a lot of medicine out on us. I mean, the symptoms I was telling you my wife had, a lot of that is from pharmaceuticals. It was long-term use of some
Uh,
certain pharmaceuticals that caused
I
that.
don't fucking doubt it at all, dude.
And
Everybody knows how I feel
Man.
about that shit.
it was long-term use of them, and once we discovered it and could get it out of her body, I mean, she still suffers some effects from it. I don't think they're ever going to go away, but I get pissed about it every time I think about it because you're intentionally giving people something that's going to harm them in the long term, and you don't tell them all of the effects of it. They don't give you all the side effects. I mean, you always hear those pharmaceutical commercials. Oh, side effect, you may die.
Yeah.
You
In rare
Sudden
cases,
death.
death may occur. Like, what the
Yes.
fuck?
Yeah.
How is this
Yeah,
okay?
it's thrown right in there
Yeah.
like casual, like too. Like
Yeah.
that's just like expected to be a normal side effect, just sudden
Yeah.
death. Yeah.
And
I woke up on a Saturday night one day and I heard a commercial and I thought no bullshit. I thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit. And until I woke up and no, that's a real commercial. In some
Yeah,
cases, death may occur. Like, are you fucking
and
kidding me, dude?
I know Outcast, dude. I agree with you 100%, right? And I know Outcast has something he wanted to get in, but like
My bad.
I want to say one of the things that I find most scary, like when they talk about side effects and stuff, that fucking freaks me out. But the part in the pharmaceutical ad where they say this drug is thought to work by. Wait,
yes.
huh? Like you don't know 100%? Like you're not sure about that? Like that, it just seems fucked up to me. Like they're allowed. I don't know. This is
So
thought to work. Ah,
compared to our industry, right? So you got pollen chuckers and breeders, and that's not knocking anybody on pollen chucking. If you need to make seeds by all means. But
No, just don't sell them.
yeah, don't sell them, and don't sell them and purport them as tested. But they're not testing their gear. What's the pharma industry doing right now? They're not testing their gear and they're pushing
yeah,
that shit
not
out.
testing their gear. That's you're right. You're right. That's funny, man. Just pushing
true.
that shit. I mean,
Yeah.
man, you know, some people that argue they are even creating the problems and then offering the solution at the same time. It's just like, man, can get full conspiratorial mode.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why I said I don't want to go down that road, man. We're going to keep it focused.
Focused, earthy chocolate terps. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh man, you seem like an awesome dude. Honestly, like I'm so thrilled again. Like we got the coolest dudes in our community. We do.
I loved everyone that you guys have had on. I mean, they're all great people. I think we got a great community.
Yeah, we do. We do. And I'm just glad you're a part of it. And I'm glad you want to help all the other people in our community grow their own quality meds. It's a noble cause, you know. I feel that calling myself, but like you're doing a lot more of that the dirty work, let's just say. Making it all happen behind the scenes, man. So that's kudos to you, man. Hats
It's
off.
the blue
Man.
collar.
Yes,
definitely.
thank you,
That's right.
sir.
That's right. We're gonna get those that unicorn one day, that autoflower with like purple, you know, bag of peel frosty. It's gonna have fucking smoked brisket barbecue terps.
Ooh,
real Texas barbecue terps. It's coming, man. I know.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I know. But we got a hell of a selection from you for now, and you're gonna continue doing all that work, man. So, I just want to thank you again for joining us and yeah, being a part of the community. It's super cool.
Thank
Let
y'all for
everybody
having
know where they can find you.
find me on IG at Outcast Genetics. That's with no underscores. Um, also the website really. It'll be
And
up
with a
around
K,
July.
right? With a K.
Yes. Outcast with a K. Yes. So the story behind that is, I didn't go too much into my childhood. I'd gotten in quite a bit of, I was a little bit of a juvenile delinquent, a little bit of an outcast myself. So that's where that
Mm,
falls back on. And, it's just the way it is. We're always outcast.
man, I feel that a little bit. You know, I might have gotten in a little trouble.
Not me. I was an angel.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. No,
Allegedly, but
Heard in a punch bowl.
you know what's funny too? Like even an outcast like yourself is now part of this community. Like we got a lot of people who I don't think like fit in like the fold otherwise, or like maybe that I don't know. Haven't felt
own
like
little
they.
island of misfit toys.
It's I
yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. We
No,
welcome
I think
everybody, honestly. I know I can be a prick sometimes, but it's just my personality. I like to joke around, but I love everybody, honestly, in nature, unless you're a prick to me. So we welcome everybody. Come on
yeah.
over. Come on over.
It's
Join our Discord. We
100%.
have a lot of fun over there. And if I tell
And
you to
I,
go fuck yourself, it means I love you.
You can be an asshole and
that's
I'll be
right.
an asshole back. We still love each other.
Yeah.
That's right. Grower love. Grower love.
Grow her love.
Man, stop posting IG links in the chat, guys. Just trying to like, is that an insult? Post screenshot, please. I told you. Can't. I can't see shit. But man, I'll be back. You'll be one of the first guys I follow. Outcast with a K. Yeah. Everyone go check him out. If you haven't already done it, you're sleeping. Just saying. But yeah, can't wait to see everyone get their hands on some of those beans, man, especially our Patreons. I mean, our guys know what the fuck they're doing. quite frankly. So, man, it's just our community is so fucking cool. Have I mentioned that? Like, am I coming across as honest? Because really, if you haven't joined our Discord, fucking do it. Like, you're doing yourself a disservice. A lot of people charge money for this kind of a community. Like, this is a free 24 hours a day. You pop in there, hey, you got some growers right there. You need a question answered? Guess what? Not going to take you that long before someone's giving you an answer and busting your balls at the same time. Like, guaranteed. And it's just, it's a great resource. And it's just like, man, Instagram, I don't know. They're pulling the rug out from everyone, so it ain't going to be there much longer. Look elsewhere. Diversify your portfolio. Spread your wings a little bit. Get on Vero, Vero. Get on Discord. Follow, get on the Cultivation Conversation Discord. Get on the Patreon page. Monster, do we have any new Patreons? Can you look that up for me real quick? I'm honestly not sure if we do, guys. I'm not sure if we do. But Max Autos did increase his monthly donation, which we are super appreciative of.
We do. Big shout out to Cots Grower. He's an active member on our Discord.
Word.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cots.
Really appreciate your support. And then Maya Lore. I'm not sure. Had never heard that name before, but we really appreciate your support, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure we got Potluck Pyro last week. He was one of the later ones in the week. Thank you very much. And I'll say it again.
My allure.
If we haven't given you a shout out yet, please reach out. Send me a DM. Say what the fuck, monster. And we'll make sure we give you a shout out on the show. We appreciate all you guys, honestly.
Yeah. It makes this whole thing go. Honestly,
I mean,
like
look,
it's community.
Everybody
value
knows
for value.
People that follow us. I had some problems with the website. We got hacked.
Oh, you're muted.
My bad. Sorry, I was coughing. Everybody that supports the Patreon actually helps out a lot. Most people don't realize our site got hacked and infected with malware. I had to delete it and start over. The bottom line, though, is now it costs more money to make sure that site is secure, and we couldn't do it without the Patreon. I mean, we could, but I'd be coming out of my pocket and Captain's pocket and G3's pocket. So we really appreciate all the support. It goes back into the show.
Makes it happen, guys. And yeah, it's heartwarming too, really. So thank you all. Thank you. And look, thank you, Outcast.
Times are tough. We know not everybody has expendable income to throw away. So don't feel like if you can't be a part of this community. There's other ways you can help.
Yeah.
Spread the show. Give us a like, a review. Anything helps. If you appreciate us, we appreciate you. Just do anything you can to help out the show. Spread the word. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Or just pop right in the Discord and just be like, oh, yo, hey, I heard you guys on an episode I downloaded randomly. I liked it a lot. What's up, guys? Here I am. You don't have to do shit. Honestly, just engage. That's all we're asking for. It's like a little bit of a call and response sort of thing. Like we're putting this out there. So give us a little bit of something back, whether it's, whether your time, your talent, your treasure, the 3 T's, right? Of the value for value system. It's how this shit works. But you don't even have to do that. Just come in and engage with the community. Be a part of the community, honestly.
Help answer somebody's question. Like there's anything, it helps. And when we hear the positive feedback, I goes without saying, Cap and G3, it's fuel for us, man. It helps keep us going, and we know we're on the right path to, produce a good show and good content that people enjoy. So it means a lot to us.
It does. And now that, like, honestly, to have guys like Outcast that are willing to, like, incentivize that whole system and, like, give Patreon members free beans, like, dude, you know how much that means to us as like just a kind of bootstrapped podcast. We just like built this from the ground up with our hard work and blood, sweat, and tears here. So it really does mean a lot, man. So we thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll definitely have to have you on again.
Definitely, I
I
appreciate it,
feel,
you
I
guys.
feel like you got a lot to say. So, I mean,
Yeah,
we've
man.
gone almost 2 hours here, and I feel like we had just barely scratched the surface of what is Outcast Genetics.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you're a real easy dude to talk to, and you're breeding a lot of fire. I suggest everyone check you out. If you're into autofems, all the better. Just if you're a man who values tent real estate, Outcast
Or
Genetics. Or woman, I'm sorry. If you're a person, why do I keep doing that? If you're a being, a sentient being who values tent real estate, I don't even
heard that word
you might
before.
just be a floating mass of invisible matter, like some fucking Star Trek life space, life form that just a blob of light that talks. it's kind of how shit worked in those shows. But man, I'm high as fuck. Did I mention that? And I'm really hungry.
Can you tell? You are?
We
This
gotta go
damn
let the cap eat.
this damn outcast weed. But it's just, man, thank you again. And yeah, please say last parting words, sir.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you. And to all the growers out there in the prohibition land, don't get caught.
Magic words. I love it. I don't even need to say it tonight. Thank you,
Nope.
guys. Talk to you next time. Adios.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.